Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's training. My name is Peter Will, and I'm the Business Development Manager here at OHouse for our laboratory equipment line. Today, I'm going to be talking about our Guardian Series hot plate stirrers, and we'll be taking a look at all four models, the Guardian 2000, 3000, 5000, and 7000. So I hope the information that I'm about to cover is beneficial to you and you come away from this training knowing a little bit more about the products than you did before. So thanks for your time, everyone, and let's get started. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're going to be covering all four models today, and we're going to start with the Guardian 2000. So what I have here is a Guardian 2000, and this is a model that is a stir-only unit. And the top surface here is 4 inches by 4 inches. In our Guardian 2000 line, we have 9 different models. So we have 3 different size top surfaces. We have the 4x4, which is here. We have a 7x7, and we have a round top unit as well, which is 5.3 inches in diameter. So again, 9 complete models. We have stir only, we have hot plate only, and then we have combination units that are hot plates and stirrers. So one of the first things that you'll notice with the Guardian 2000 is it's got a really nice, small, compact footprint. And you'll also notice that this is an analog unit, right? So there's no display for temperature or speed. So where's the Guardian 2000 sold? Primarily, we've been finding success in academic, science and education laboratories, places where they might not have such a big budget for some of the more advanced features of other hot plate stirrers. So the Guardian 2000 is our basic analog model. And another thing you'll notice with the industrial design is we've decided to put the power button on the front of the unit. And the benefit of that is rather than where most manufacturers place it in the back of the unit, if students are using this and they tend to be careless, they could potentially reach over a hot surface to turn the unit off, and there's a risk of getting burned if the top surface is hot. So with this switch on the front, you can easily turn the unit on or off. So again, we have a dedicated power switch. And since this is a stir-only unit, you'll see one dial for stirring. And it's very simple to activate. So you do have to turn stirring on. But despite this being analog, you can see there's an immediate reaction, even at the low speeds, where the unit begins stirring, right? So I can turn that up and turn it down, and you see a good vortex. I put some red beads just to give it more of an effect that you can see the stirring take place with the video as opposed to just water. Okay, so another thing to notice about this unit, I'm going to turn stirring off for a second, and I'm going to take this off. Again, it's not hot, it's just stirring, so I can touch top surface. You'll see the industrial design. We've designed this little lip here to catch any potential spills that might occur. If somebody accidentally spills their sample, or if they're boiling water, for example, and the sample boils over, the control panel is going to be protected because any liquid will get caught into this trough here and get deflected off to the side. There's also a threaded hole in the back, which allows the user to attach a support rod if they wanted to hang a thermometer off to measure the temperature of their sample. Now, keep in mind, this is an analog unit, so it doesn't have a temperature probe which can plug in, But for measuring sample temperature with analog units, they can use their own external thermometer. Okay, so another thing to notice about this model is the construction of the housing. So this is a fully metal housing. It's very durable. Again, in labs where you have students, they tend to not really take care of the equipment. So we've tried to design the unit to be very durable and withstand those difficult laboratory conditions. So I had mentioned we have 9 different models. This is our 4x4 stir only. We have a 4x4 heat only, and then a combination unit for heating and stirring. You'll also notice when I do turn the speed dial on, there is a green LED. It might be hard to see on the camera, but now you can see that the green LED comes on to indicate that the unit is on and is stirring. That will also be the case in the combination unit. When you turn heating on, there'll be a green LED on the left-hand side to indicate that the heating function is indeed on. And simply turn the dial off to turn stirring off, and you can turn the power off as well. Okay, so that's our Guardian 2000. I do want to point out that although this is the stir only unit, on our heating models, they are analog. However, we do have an indicator light on the front display that will come on when the top surface is above 40 degrees Celsius. So all of our Guardian units, whether it's a 2000 all the way up to the 7000, has a very large warning indicator light that comes on when the top surface is above 40 degrees C. And I'll demonstrate that in the next couple of models in the Guardian 3000, 5000, and 7000. So let's switch now to the Guardian 3000. Okay, so here we have our Guardian 3000. And of course, the main difference between the 2 and the 3000, you'll see the 3000 is a digital unit. So it's our first model with digital display. Yes, the 3000 is a basic unit, but it is a basic digital unit. And it has some great features. So the housing design is basically the same as the Guardian 2000. If I bring that into the camera here, you'll see the housings are essentially identical. This Guardian 3000 housing is larger because the top surface, this is a 7x7 unit. So in the Guardian 3000 family, we have 3 different models. All of them are multifunction, so heating and stirring. So we have a 4x4, we have a 7x7, and we have a round top 5.3 inch in diameter. Additionally, the material for the units with heating are fully ceramic. Okay, so this unit here is a multifunction unit. It has speed and it has temperature, and therefore our top surface is a fully ceramic surface. It's also a white surface, and the purpose of it being white is it will help with researchers to identify a color change within their experiment easier because of the white surface. Okay, similar to the 2000, we have our on-off switch located in the front, and you can see when the unit is, when the switch is in the off position, the display reads off, right? So when I turn it on, now the display will read the last settings that were programmed. So it was programmed for 80 RPMs and 44 degrees Celsius. Now you can see the display for temperature is toggling between the actual temperature, which is 27 degrees Celsius, that's the room temperature, and 44 degrees Celsius, which was the set temperature. So I can, if I want to change the temperature setting, I just simply turn the dial, and to activate temperature, I have to press and hold the button for a brief moment, and that will activate temperature. And once the temperature is turned on, you'll notice the green LED. Right now, you'll see that it's flashing. And the reason why it's flashing is because the unit hasn't achieved your set temperature of 50 degrees Celsius. Okay, it will continue to flash until the temperature stabilizes at the set temperature. You'll also see as the temperature, once the plate surface is above 40 degrees, you'll see the warning triangle has come on to let the user know, hey, this temperature, this surface is hot, do not touch, right? So very large, bright triangle indicating to the user that the top surface of the plate is hot. As opposed to most manufacturers, they do have a warning light, but it's generally a small red LED, and it's difficult to see depending on the lighting in the laboratory. So we've designed ours to be large and bright. Okay, so now if I want to turn stirring on, the stirring range starts at 80, right? And then I can set the stirring all the way up to 1600 RPMs. I'm going to dial it down. I'll dial it to about 250. And to turn stirring on, you simply press and hold the speed dial. And now you can see the unit come up to speed. And the green LED for speed is also on. It is blinking, and it will continue to blink until the speed has stabilized at the set speed of 250 RPMs. And now the speed has stabilized and the green LED remains constant. Okay, so, some great features, a large display, bright indicators, so you can see that from a distance in the laboratory. The nice thing is that you can see your speed and your temperature at the same time. And in addition to that, you can see the actual and the set temperature without having to toggle. It automatically toggles for the user. So it's a nice feature. I've seen in competitors' units where in order to see the actual or set temperature, you need to make an adjustment on the device. So even in this relatively basic unit, we've designed it to be much more user-friendly. Okay, so to turn, or I'd say if I wanted to change the speed, if I want to increase the RPMs, I simply turn and give it a quick press, and now the speed will ramp up to 300 RPMs. And again, the green light will stabilize once the speed has reached the set speed. Okay, another safety feature that I want to talk about is, again, we have an on-off button here, right? So if I turn stirring off, you press and hold, and you'll hear an audible sound. Not sure if you can pick that up on the video. And if I want to turn the temperature off, I can do the same thing. I press and hold briefly. And now temperature is off. So both green LEDs have turned off, indicating to the user that both speed and temperature functions have been turned off. However, the hot top warning light remains lit because, again, this surface is above 40 degrees Celsius. So it's telling the user to be careful and not touch that surface. Now, if I were to leave at night and my experiment is done and I turn my hot plate stirrer off, okay, it's off. It tells the user that it's off, but it also tells the user that the top surface is hot. So that's reading hot. And this light, again, remains lit. Even though the power button has been turned off, the warning light remains lit until this surface goes below 40 degrees C. So it's another added safety feature. So if I turn this unit off at night and somebody else is still working in the laboratory and they come to interact with this equipment, they'll know immediately by looking at the display that, hey, this temperature is hot. And, 50 degrees might not be such a hot temperature, but if you're working in temperatures of 100 or so, it's going to take quite a long time for that surface to cool down on its own. So again, that light and the display will indicate that the surface is hot. And for a basic digital unit, there's not any other on the market that I'm aware of that have those kind of safety features built in. So that's our Guardian 3000. Again, 3 different models. All 3 are combination heating and stirring units with either a 4x4, a 7x7, or a 5.3-inch round surface. So the next thing I'd like to do is show you the Guardian 5000. Okay, here we have our Guardian 5000, which is also a digital model. However, it is a step above the Guardian 3000. So you'll notice the industrial design is a bit different. On this unit, we did place the power button on the side of the unit. So not directly in the front, but on the side. Again, much safer location, a lot easier to access than if it was on the back. So I can turn that on. And I think one of the first things you'll notice is the display on the Guardian 5000 is a bit brighter than the Guardian 3000, as well as being larger. So that's one of the upgraded features. The other thing I'd like to show you, if I take the sample off and I turn the unit on its side. Okay, so this is a side view. And what you'll notice here is the industrial design has this very high lip here protecting the control panel. So if I were boiling this sample and the sample accidentally boiled over, any liquid that were to spill off is going to get caught in this area here and come off the side of the unit. So the electronics are completely protected. The control panel is protected. It's far away. The distance from that hot surface is also far from where a person's hands might be interacting. So that's another benefit. But this pronounced area here also is going to protect the electronics and, therefore increasing the life expectancy of the device, just being a much safer design. Okay, so that's the side of the unit, and here you can see the dedicated power button. In addition, if I show you the back of the unit, so in the back of the unit here, we have a plug here that I can pull out, and there's a hole here that can support a support rod. So since this is a digital unit, the user can purchase a support rod, and they can tighten that down in this back hole here. And from there, they can hang a temperature probe. And the temperature probe can plug into the back port on the back of the unit, the RTD port. Okay, and that then allows them to measure the temperature of their sample. So Guardian 5000 is available in 3 different sizes, 3 different plate sizes. So right now we're looking at the 7x7. Okay, this is 7 inches by 7 inches. We also have a size up from that, which is 10 inches by 10 inches, so a larger size. And we typically find the 7x7 is the most popular, and then probably 10 by 10. And then we also have a round top version for Guardian 5000 as well. The maximum temperature for Guardian 5000 with a ceramic plate is 500 degrees. And then the round plate, which is made of aluminum, has a maximum temperature of 380 degrees C. Okay, as far as operating the unit, and one more thing. We do offer protective cover, right? So similar to our balances, the user can purchase a protective cover, and that's going to also increase the lifespan of the unit since it's going to protect it from any chemical spills. Okay, so the maximum speed on this unit is 1600 RPMs, and you can actually go down to 60 RPM. So it's got a wider speed range than the Guardian 2000 or 3000. As far as setting the speed and the temperature, it's similar to the Guardian 3000. So if I set this for, say, 150 RPMs, then I press and hold. So audible sound comes on, and the green RPM will light, and the unit will ramp up to 150 RPMs. If I want to increase that speed, I simply turn the dial and I give it a short press, and now the speed will continue to increase up to the new setting of 300. As far as temperature, right now you can see the unit is toggling between the set temperature and the actual temperature. So if I set this for 65 degrees C, you can see you can set it in 1 degree increments. I simply press, short press. You'll hear an audible signal, and the green LED on the temperature side will illuminate, telling the user that it's giving temperature and increasing the temperature. Now, once the surface, or actually the heating element, is above 40 degrees on this unit, we also have a triangle warning. This happens to be a little bit brighter than the Guardian 3000. So therefore, again, a little bit of an upgrade to the Guardian 3000. But again, large, bright triangle warning to indicate to the user that the top surface is above 40 degrees C. And if I want to increase the temperature, I can change the temperature by just simply turning the dial. If I say I want to go to 100, and then a short press, and now the new setting is in the program, and the unit will ramp up to 100 degrees C. It will also toggle back and forth between the actual temperature and the set temperature. So the actual temperature is about 70 right now. Set temperature is 100. There's a little set icon to let the user know the difference between the set and the actual. Okay, so that's the Guardian 5000. Again, great features, a very safe unit. One feature that you can't see, but built into the electronics, is something that we call safety heat. Okay, and safety heat, basically there are two circuits inside the device. There's a primary circuit, which controls the heating, and then there's a secondary circuit that's constantly monitoring the primary circuit. So in the case of a potential failure, and that first primary circuit were to have a problem, the secondary circuit will monitor and recognize that, and automatically shut the unit down before there could be a potential heat runaway. Okay, so as soon as it may detect some type of an issue, it will automatically shut the heating down. Okay, unlike most competitors, they don't have any type of a secondary circuit that monitors the primary circuit. So if the primary circuit were to fail and a component were to fail in the primary circuit, and we've reached our set temperature, and that's the audible sound that you hear. But like I was saying, on a competitor's unit, if the primary circuit were to fail, the unit will continue to heat to very high extreme temperatures, well over 500 degrees C, until that component will shut down. So there could be a runaway heat situation, which With the Guardian 5000, with safety heat, that situation will not occur. Okay, so now I've showed you the Guardian 2000, the Guardian 3000, and just for a comparison, I'll put the 3000 next to the 5000. You can see the industrial design on the 5000 is slightly different. It has the higher control panel that you showed you from the side view. But from a plate to plate, these are comparable. It's the exact same plate, 7x7. But the display you can see is quite a bit smaller on the 3000 than it is on the 5000. So those are some of the main differences. And the next model that I'd like to show you is our top of the line, which is the Guardian 7000. Okay, so here we have our Guardian 7000. And I wanted to show you, this is a round top unit. I wanted to show you an example of the round top unit, just to give you a feel for the various models that we offer. So the first thing here is with the round top unit, you can see it's got a very small footprint, right? Not so wide. The top surface, as I mentioned earlier, this is an aluminum surface. It reaches 380 degrees C, as opposed to the fully ceramic on the square tops, which can reach 500 degrees Celsius. But as far as the industrial design of the Guardian 7 and the 5000, they are the same, right? So you'll see the housing design with this surface here that, again, deflects any type of an accidental spill and protects the control panel. And you can also see the distance between the hot surface and the dials that the user would have to interact with is, almost 4 or 5 inches. So it's really set back quite far from the hot surface, eliminating any chance that a user might accidentally burn themselves. The power button is also located on the side. Okay, so again, I'm going to turn the unit on. And Guardian 5 and 7000 displays are the same. So the brightness is equivalent to the Guardian 5000. But one of the main differences here between the 5 and the 7000 is you can see both the actual, I'm sorry, the set temperature and the actual temperature, and the set speed and the actual speed at the exact same time. So there's no toggling going on. So for example, the unit is set for 65 degrees Celsius, and the actual temperature is 26.1, right? So if I turn heating on, I quickly or simply press the temperature dial on the left-hand side, and now you can see that the actual temperature increasing. It's trying to get to the 65 degree set temperature. So it's nice that you can see the actual and the set at the exact same time. And likewise for stirring, it's stabilized at 95 RPMs. One of the main differences between the Guardian 7 and the 5000, you'll see in the middle here, is a timer. You've basically reached 100% of your set temperature. So we're at probably about 60% right now. It's at 51 degrees. And as you get closer to your set temperature, this bar will come all the way across. And the nice thing about that, I'm going to just turn heating off for a second here and stirring off. The nice thing about having this bar is it allows the user to quickly see where the temperature of their experiment is at in relation to their setting. So they could be working on something on the other side of the lab, and yet glance over and see quickly how close their experiment is to the set temperature. Okay, some of the other differences between the Guardian 7000 and the 5000 is it's got a pretty extensive menu, the Guardian 7000. And I'm going to demonstrate some of the key features within the menu to let you understand what they are and why they're important. First of all, to get into the menu, both speed and temperature need to be turned off, which they are at this point. And to get into the menu, you press and hold until you see the menu screen come up. And the first thing you'll notice is TLIM, which stands for temperature limit. And this allows the user to set a maximum temperature limit that they don't want the instrument to ever exceed. So for example, if they're working with a sample that they don't want the temperature to go above 100 degrees C, which is what it's set at right now, they can dial that in at 100 and the unit will never exceed 100. It will never overshoot 100 to protect their sample. So that's the way within the software that the user can set the maximum temperature limit. And I'll show you how that works. So I can press this button, and now suppose I wanted to set it for 150. I can change the temperature to 150. And now when I go to the main menu, there is a thermometer icon that will remain lit to indicate to the user that the TLIM or maximum temperature has been set. And actually, if I try to set it above 150, the unit will not allow me to exceed that temperature, right? So I can continue to turn this dial, but it will never go above 150. And when I instruct it to heat, again, through the software, it will not exceed 150 either. Okay, so now I want to show you a few other features within the software. So if I want to get back into the menu, I press and hold. And now I want to show you how to set different ramp rates for speed and different ramp rates for temperature. So I go into the ramp setting, and if I press this, the temperature or degrees C lights up. And you have three different options here. You have standard ramp rate, you have a slow ramp rate, and then you have a fast ramp rate. And right now it's set for standard. If I want to set it for a fast ramp rate, I press that, and this icon blinks, and I can just simply scroll over, and you have three different options. The standard is just a dash, the slow is a turtle, and the fast ramp rate is a rabbit. So I'm going to set it for fast, and I can press. Now, if I wanted to change the ramp rate for speed, I can do that as well by toggling over. Now the RPM lights up. Right now it's set for a slow RPM, so the turtle icon is lit up. If I want to change that, the icon blinks, and I just scroll. If I want to set it for standard ramp rate for speed, it's on the dash right now, and I press to activate. And now I've set both the temperature and speed ramp rates. And now if I back out of this mode and I go to exit and I go to the main screen, now you'll see there's no icon on the speed side because it's set for the standard ramp rate, but there is the rabbit icon on the temperature side because we set the ramp rate at a fast ramp rate for temperature. Okay, so a couple other things within the menu that I think are important to point out. First of all, the Guardian 7000 has an extremely unique feature called Smart Presence. Smart Presence is basically a safety function that's built into the unit through an IR sensor, which is located on the housing here, that can sense when a user is in front and engaged with the piece of equipment. And if that user were to walk away and not come back to the unit after a set period of time, the IR sensor will sense that and automatically shut down heating. Okay, so that's Smart Presence. It's the only hot plate stirrer on the market that has such a feature. And it's really well received as one of the best safety features for hot plates, because as you know, accidents could happen in laboratories. So we've tried to eliminate the human error by putting the sensor in the unit to detect when a user is not in front of the unit. So by default, Smart Presence is set as off, but to turn it on, you simply get into the menu and you go to the safe mode, and I can set the user setting to be on or off. It actually is currently set on. That's how I set it previously. To turn it on and off, you just click the button and you can turn it either off or click again and turn it on. And when it's on, you'll see this little person icon on the display. So when I'm on the main menu, when Smart Presence feature is set, the user will know that because this icon will be showing. And again, so you then can set the amount of time, a warning time, say for 1 minute. So if I were to walk away from the device and 1 minute passes and the IR sensor is not detecting that I'm in front of it, it will send out a warning signal. And then I have a specific period of time to come back and engage with the device. And if I don't, and that time elapses, the Guardian 7000 will automatically shut heating off to protect the sample, to protect the laboratory. It's just an all-around excellent safety feature. So that's Smart Presence. Okay, if I'm going to back out of here now, go to another feature in the menu, which is a program feature. So there is the ability to plug a USB into the back of the unit, and you can load programs into the Guardian 7000. So you can create step programs and then load it into the Guardian 7000, and the unit will run those programs automatically. So for example, if you wanted to set the unit to heat at a certain temperature for a specific period of time, and then change temperature, and say for 30 minutes at 100 degrees, and then drop down to 50 degrees for 15 minutes, you can create that program. You can load that program into the device, right, by getting into the load menu. And then once the program is loaded, then you can run that program. And it's very simple to do. And it's a great feature because, again, it allows the user to set multiple temperatures, multiple times, multiple speeds, and really fine tune their experiment. Once they've found the best parameters, they can actually then set a program and load that into all of their hot plate stirrers in the laboratory, and every single one will be running the same exact program. And in science, reproducible results are key. So by having a unit that you can program, it assures the ability to have reproducible results. I'm going to get back to the main menu now. So again, that's the Guardian 7000. Great safety features with Smart Presence, a timer for timed experiments, which is an upgrade from the Guardian 5000. You have the ability to set ramp rates for both speed and temperature. You also, in this device, have safety heat, which is what I talked about with the Guardian 5000, where you have dual circuitry protecting from any type of a heat runaway. So Guardian 7000 is our top of the line unit. It's got a lot of bells and whistles. I would say your target customer is probably going to be in higher end chemistry laboratories, in biopharma or pharmaceutical companies. It's a little bit more expensive, so it's going to be those labs that have a higher budget. But anyone that's looking for, top of the line, high end safety, I would strongly recommend the Guardian 7000. So I hope that the features that I've demonstrated today have been helpful for you. I hope that you come away from this training with a little bit more knowledge than you may have had before, and really understand that OHouse has a very, very broad portfolio of hot plate stirrers, from the basic Guardian 2000 to the Guardian 3000 digital to the next level up of Guardian 5000 digital, and then to the Guardian 7000, which is our top of the line unit. It's going to give you a lot of opportunities in the market. And again, we appreciate all your time today and look forward to seeing you again on the next training. Thank you.